With our question of the day, which is, in its budget, should the state of Michigan spend more or less money on education? So far right now, this poll's been going all day. We have 61% saying more, 39% saying less, and if you want to vote, you can scan that QR code right now. And our UpNorthLive's Allie Baxter spoke to Representative Cam Cavett, who you saw a little bit earlier, sorry about that again, and to a superintendent here in Northern Michigan about the recent signing of the education budget that happened today by Governor Whitmer, and we will play that right now so you guys can take a look.
Putting this chapter behind us.
In 2019, when the Grand Traverse Area Catholic Schools put the finishing touches on its brand new $17 million elementary school, they didn't imagine 5 years later everyone would still be talking about these.
No, we're kind of surprised that this issue has become quite so inflamed, but we're doing our best and have been working with the city at every step of the way to try to mitigate it, to try to resolve it, to try to mend fences with our neighbor.
Fence mending because neighbors like Amelia Hazenroll have been speaking up and battling in court to have the school lights dimmed, as she explained in this 2023 interview with us.
I've used double room darkening shades because my bedroom now is too bright to sleep in.
Over the past several years, those lights and their brightness have been called into question in court and in the city's eyes. But neighbors say little was done to actually address the situation. Finally, a judge ordering a $100 a night fine until the situation was addressed, which GTEC says they have a plan to do.
We do have to replace the lights, which were brand new in 2019, and so we have ordered those lights. We've requested expedited delivery, but we just don't know for sure when they're going to arrive. Until that time, we believe we'll just have to pay the fine and keep the lights on.
They say paying the fine isn't about disrespecting the court or continuing the fight with neighbors.
We believe it's in the best interest of everyone that those lights be kept on. Our security systems and our cameras would not function without the adequate lighting, and so turning that off would disrupt that process.
So for now, they've decided to keep the lights as they are while they wait for their replacements to arrive. $100 a night plus the cost of the long-term solution.
In addition to the $30,000 dimmer system, which we installed that prevents the lights from ever rising above the lumen level that's allowable in the city, we've also now invested in $20,000 of additional light fixtures. So that's quite a bit of money, and these are very expensive modifications that we're being forced to make.
The initial purchase price, coupled with years of attorney's fees, dimmer systems, and now replacements, plus the cost of some goodwill with some of the neighbors. Lights that have turned out to be pretty costly, but a saga that may finally be nearing a welcomed end by all.
And we certainly feel like that will be done very shortly.
All right, and sorry, you guys are probably a little confused because that wasn't the right story that was supposed to play. That was our other story that aired from today that Mark Shillette did on an update with some lighting issues going on over on Immaculate Conception here in Traverse City. There was a lighting dispute from a lawsuit, as you heard in that package from a couple years ago, and now that school district is now paying $100 a day to kind of deal with that while they're getting new lights to kind of fix that issue. But going to the package I was talking about earlier about the state's education budget being signed today, I'll play that right now, done by our UpNorthLive's Allie Baxter.
Disappointment in an education budget. Some advocated to change.
I just don't see the political calculus in what the governor is thinking, you know. I mean, does she really want to fund splash pads and zoos and boxing clubs and money, $800,000 to Detroit Opera, $500,000 to the Detroit Science Center? Is it really, all that important that they get those kind of get political gifts, then kids in my district up north, we're lucky to pay the teachers this year.
Representative Cam Cavett says superintendents in his district were calling and telling him
not to support this, to try and, it's a poison pill to kill it, and certainly I serve in the minority and I'm not able to do that. So the majority passed it.
And with that, it is completed.
The governor signed last year's education budget here at Suttons Bay Public Schools in Leelanau County. Superintendent Casey Petz is looking to the future with hope.
There'll be more, I believe, coming down the road, either legislatively or with additional legislation that sort of matches some of the priorities within this budget.
He explains there's positives about the budget while also some areas that have the opportunity to improve.
School lunch style, we've got some of the sides here. We've got peas and cucumbers, but we're waiting to see if it's also going to include a chicken patty.
Some of those peas and cucumbers for Sutton's Bay schools is transportation funds and some money going back to the classrooms because of relief from paying more to the Office of Retirement Services. So that maybe
we get to hire one additional aide for this classroom that needs that. We get to bring in an expert professional development program that does some coaching or does some work on improving instruction with our teachers.
As Petz explains, while they may have already finalized their school budget, the district can make amendments to adjust for the funds they were given.
Follow the money situation, right? So money comes in for this, okay, that might mean less over here. We're just going to shift that around so we can build the best plan we can for support of kids.
She just asked if I could hear. I could hear everything. Now she goes back to her. She can't hear.
I'm sorry, I was muted. That's on me. Can you hear me all right?
Oh, yes.
Sorry, we've been having a lot of technical difficulties today, huh?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so kind of diving deeper into the story, I know you talked with our Allie Baxter earlier today, and kind of something you guys talked about was the responses that you've been getting in response to this education ballot, or education being budget being signed. And so what are some of the other things that you've been hearing from some of the other superintendents here in Northern Michigan?
Well, superintendents are very frustrated with this bill. They're worried that they're going to have to lay off teachers or staff this upcoming fall. There's in my 106 House districts, we have 6 school districts, and every one of those superintendents is adamant that they're concerned about losing staff in the fall due to this budget that the governor just signed.
Yeah, because a big part of it, is retaining teachers. I know here in Northern Michigan, it's kind of hard to keep them here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so kind of looking at this budget, there's been concern with these superintendents. Do you think there's anything that they can do for their schools to kind of get more money later on in the year?
Well, they're shaking the money tree down right now, which is what politicians do. They're going to see what falls out, and there'll probably be a supplemental budget call. So some of these schools might see more revenue. And we're certainly going to work on that. They kept the per pupil allotment. They did not raise it. It's the first time in 10 years. So that's unusual. With inflation, per pupil allotment doesn't go as far as a year.
Yeah. And so are there any positives about this budget in your eyes that you think, wasn't a part of last year's budget that now got put into this year's?
Well, there's a lot of positives if you're downstate. You get new splash pads, get new Detroit Opera House, $800,000, the Detroit Science Center, $500,000. Those are all positives for downstate folks. But for us living up north, there was $400 million spent in earmark. Very little of it came up north.
Yeah, so I guess downstate, as you were saying, kind of got the bigger end of the stick, so to say.
It's unfortunate. We're getting a little tired of it.
All right, and those are all my questions for you right now. Is there anything else that you feel like we didn't touch on today or that you wanted to add about the budget?
No. I don't know if you're aware that there's a shakeup on the Democratic House side where they had 2 representatives resign from leadership posts to protest this budget.
All right.
So the governor has alienated her base. School unions are upset with her. She's got superintendents that are upset with her. She's got Democratic legislators upset with her.
So a lot of work, I feel like, needs to be done now to kind of fill those gaps.
Yes. Appreciate your interest.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you so much, Representative Cavett, for joining us here on Up North Live Unscripted. Sorry for all the issues beforehand as well.
No, thank you
But-
for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. And we will be checking in with Joe Charlevoix right after this break for the weather. I know we kind of missed him at the top of the show, but don't worry. He will be here. He will be back, and we will check in with him. I'm going to pull up our question of the day one more time so you guys can either scan that QR code or go to any of our social media pages to answer that question if you want. But for now, you are watching Up North Live Unscripted at 6:30. All right, welcome back to UpNorthLive Unscripted here at 6:30. I'm going to bring in Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix. Hey, Joe.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. You got that late cup ready?
What's that?
You got that late cup?
Yeah, I do. Right here. A little bit of coffee. Yeah, what a change though. You know, we had some sun and nice weather, and now today it's cool and rainy.
Yeah. I
And I
feel like
think
it's kind of deserved.
What's that?
It's kind of deserved, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't mind these days during the summer. I don't mind a warm summer day because you don't get, half the year is so cold, snowy, which is fine too. But one of these days too, where you get that rain and stuff, it's kind of nice, So let's take a look. Let's go, Nicole. You want to go to Mackinac Island?
Sure.
All right, let's go there. And it is 64 degrees. You can see a little breeze there through the trees. Temperatures certainly have been kept down today because of the clouds and that rain. The wind there, that's right there downtown Mackinac Island, 64 northeast winds, and some of that rain continuing to come down. Our three big things in weather, what we're looking at here in northern Michigan, the rain tapers off to showers on Wednesday. So still some rain tonight, and even tomorrow, a few showers. But those will wind down tomorrow evening. And then we begin a 4-day dry stretch. And we're not looking at any rain. High pressure will build in Thursday through Sunday. So that will be the end of the week and all weekend, dry and a big warm-up on the way. As we get into the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday time frame, I don't think everybody gets there. And not everyone will. But a couple spots might get close to 90 degrees as we head toward the weekend early next week. There's a look at our weather map tonight. Low pressure sits kind of right near Ludington tonight. Wrapping around that, rain, which we do have across the area. It's been raining in our northern counties since this morning at times. To the south, the rain, few thunderstorms rolled in this afternoon. And that is a current look at things right now. So we'll kind of zoom in here. I'll take the cloud cover off so it's easier to see the rain right there around Rudyard, back down along US 2. Much of the UP dealing with rain. Rogers City over to Petoskey. A little pocket of heavier rain right here. That is near Central Lake there on Northeast Torch Lake Drive there on the north end of that. Some rain. And then the showers continuing all the way from Alpena all the way down into areas there in Lake County. As far as our forecast is concerned, here's a look at the rain right now. This is future radar. Showers continuing tonight, maybe an outside, thunderstorm, outside chance that is. Now, if you're an early riser, it's going to be cloudy tomorrow morning, pretty gray, and still a few of these. See these showers tomorrow? Nothing like today. It won't be an all-day rain, but spotty showers around. Those end tomorrow night, and then by Thursday, we are back to dry weather, and that's going to hang around Thursday night right through the day on Friday. There's Friday afternoon, nothing going on. High pressure will sit right overhead, and you see what that looks like. There's Friday. You see northern Michigan. Saturday, dry. We turn our wind around out of the south, and that's what's going to propel in that warmer weather. There's Sunday, and then even Monday, the first half of the day looks pretty quiet before we get maybe a late afternoon or evening shower or thunderstorm. If you're in Charlevoix, you got the Venetian Festival going on, 72 tomorrow and upper 70s later in the week. Sunshine Thursday, Friday. And on the other side of the state in Alpena, we have the Brown Trout Festival. Pretty similar weather there. A couple showers possible tomorrow. Dry Thursday, and close to 80 on Friday with lots of that sunshine. So here's our extended forecast. A few showers, clouds in the morning tomorrow, and then those clouds will break up to into some sunshine later tomorrow afternoon and evening. And then, as we mentioned, a 4-day dry stretch, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You see the warming temperatures with some spots mid and upper 80s by the weekend. And it stays warm to near hot in some spots, even into early next week. Chance for a couple showers or thunderstorms early next week. So kind of a wet night out there tonight, Nicole, but after we get past tonight, we're looking at, as we get into Thursday, dry weather and pretty comfortable conditions. And a warm up too, if you like summer weather, a pretty warm weekend coming up.
Yeah, pretty beautiful weekend. I'm excited for it. I don't know if you are.
Oh, I like beautiful weekends too.
Well, thank you so much, Joe. And, sorry.
Hi.
And we will be checking in with Harrison Beebe for what he's going to be talking about tonight in sports. But for now, we're going to pull up that question of the day again, just to see what those numbers are looking like. Well, welcome back to Up North Live Unscripted here at 6:30. We are going to be checking in with Harrison Beebe. Hi, Harrison. How's it going?
I'm great, Nicole. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm all right.
Well, yeah, let's chat about some sports.
All right.
Tigers yesterday, and that trend was a good one to talk about because man, they looked awesome in the road opener at Cleveland last night. I know you caught the
Yeah.
highlights in the 11 o'clock show. Hey, you're watching the Tigers when you have some downtime here at the office a lot. And they've been looking great, and they looked great last night. Jake Rogers with a little league inside the park home run, thanks to the help from an error from the Guardians outfield. You don't see that too often. You especially don't see it too often from catchers like Jake
Yeah.
Rogers, who don't look like they have the stamina. And we saw that him laying out on the home plate there for an excessive amount of time just to catch his breath. But yeah, Tigers. Who'd have thought this late in the month of
I
July? We're
know.
almost done with it, and they have an All-Star break. But who would have thought they would have the best record in the majors in the month of July after the up and down ride they've given fans so far this year? But Nicole, I'm going to ask you real politely. Are you ready for some football?
I would say so. I feel
You
like it's
think so?
time.
I know college football wise, you're a little indifferent because your team is you
Not
have
so good.
a university from your college days that is no longer in a conference that basically exists. I mean, it does
Yeah.
with two schools, I believe, but not yours. You guys, Arizona State is now in the Big 12, correct?
Correct. Yeah. They
You're
left the Pac-10, right?
Well, it was the Pac-12. Now it's the Pac-2.
Yeah.
So yeah, really ugly stuff there. The Big Ten went ahead and poached a bunch of you guys, Washington, Oregon, USC, and
Mhm.
UCLA. So the Big 18 now, the Big Ten is now 18 schools. They're holding their media days this week in Indianapolis, which is where the Big Ten championship game is played every year. And Michigan and Michigan State, their head coaches will speak over the next few days. But today, Tony Petitti, the commissioner of the Big Ten, spoke about this whole expansion with college football. Obviously, the Big Ten now has 18 teams. The college football playoff is going to have 12 teams instead of the 4 it's had the last 10 years. So a lot of new changes coming to this season of college football, and a big chunk of those changes will be in the Big Ten Conference. So excited to see what happens. Games don't start until Labor Day weekend, but with this media day here coming in late July, and Lions training camp starts this weekend as well downstate in Detroit. So it has that slow feeling of football coming back. Although a lot of people like myself would prefer to hang on to the elements of summer a bit longer and not focus on football. But at the same time, you hit this kind of dog days patch.
Yeah.
It's nice to have some football to talk about.
I don't know. I'm excited. It's kind of like the leaves changing, like it's slow, but you kind of see it happening over time.
I'm just confirming you haven't seen any leaves change yet, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay, good. You're referencing the fall and not like
Yeah.
you saw
A
this
metaphor.
afternoon outside your home.
Well, thank you, Harrison, for stopping by. We will see what you say later tonight on Up North Live News at 11. But for now, we're going to pull up that question of the day one more time, and we will be right back after this break. All right, welcome back to Up North Live Unscripted. We're going to look at this question of the day one more time. In its budget, should the state of Michigan spend more or less on education? We have 60% saying more, 40% saying less, and you can still vote. Either scan that QR code or head to our social media. But we hope to see you right back here later tonight at Up North Live News at 11 for the more local news, sports, and weather. Thank you for tuning in.